The idea and the purpose of the book, when it happened, was literally me getting my head out of my ass. Yourself and the actions that turn out as a result of the words that you use. There is a shift in the universe, but it starts really small.
Welcome back to another episode of Success Decoded, where we deep dive into what truly defines success with a twist of vulnerability and a pinch of courage and a whole lot of heart. Today's guest is someone who doesn't just defy expectations, she rewrites the rules altogether. You may know her as the fiery, unforgettable Kukoo from Sacred Games, or maybe the bold voice on stage or screen. But behind that magnetic presence is a journey filled with quiet battles, loud awakenings, and deeply personal choices. She's an actor, anchor, advocate of authenticity, and now an author. Please welcome the effervescent Kubbra Sait. So I am so excited to welcome Kubbra here today. This is going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait. So we're going to be talking about what is the real, decoding success. So what is really the emotional part, the learnings, the emotional intelligence part of your success and your story. So welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank
excited.
you so much for having me here. I think we had a connection like the first time we met.
Yes.
And this just seems like natural.
Yeah,
to
totally.
be sitting here and having this chat. Like the last time I met you as well, we were having such conversations that were just pivoting off different conversations,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And it was amazing. And yeah,
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so natural.
This is
to
the
be so
natural
much fun.
progression.
It is. We're here now. Okay. So speaking about a book, or speaking of conversations, your book, Open Book, is anything but conventional, but I would never expect it to be anyway. I mean, knowing you, it can't be, right? It has to be something fabulous. So it reads much less like a narration and more like a reckoning with your past, with pain, and with profound self-awareness, which is an emotional intelligence coach. I was really impressed by the level of self-awareness and the level of self-healing that you expressed in that book, and some things that I think that takes people their entire life to actually actualize and know about. So it's fierce. Of course, it's fierce. It's vulnerable. And most of all, it's really honest. It's really authentic. Open Book is the perfect title for this book. And I would say everybody needs to read it because it will impact you and it will help you in your life no matter what. Even if there's nothing you can relate to as your own experience, you will learn something from it. So I would just like to say as a pitch for the book, that's it right there. It's amazing. Okay, so but what prompted you to write it now, or when you wrote it?
First of all, thank you so much. Like, I have never heard such a lovely, wholesome bio for my book. And I appreciate you for sharing this with me because it means a lot. The idea and the purpose of the book, when it happened, was literally me getting my head out of my ass. And I think that's the hardest thing that one can do, because we're so involved in the present that we don't know that this present is actually really fluid. And this moment's already my past. It's gone. But who am I? What made me the person that I am? Because there were a few things that were standing out. One is, oh God, you've never changed. You're still the same person. And while that is one of my few blessings that I'm very grateful for, that people can still connect from like so many phases of my life and feel that I'm still the same person. But I know that I've changed a lot internally. I do have boundaries today that I didn't know I could have earlier. There were so many things that shaped me in order to, you know, how they say, catch the bull by its horns today. So it was my own inner curiosity to understand what the hell has shaped me to become this person that I am. And of course, we have adversities and bad shit that happens to all of us. And I think we give too much, importance to, such a good person and bad things happen to you. But my response to what happened does not have to remain the same for the rest of my life. I could change the way I respond to things that happened to me and then learn how to be different as new things happen to me. And this book became an excavation of sorts from inside. Who were the parents I was born to? What was the kind of life that I lived? And I know that, today when I read this book, I go back and say, oh gosh, I forgot something else. And that was a great story. But I felt like when this book was coming together, these were the questions I needed to ask. What did the abuse do to me? What did the abortion do to me? And how did I get involved to the latter part of the misery? Because when trauma was happening to me, maybe I was not responsible for it, but thereafter I fed the trauma. I was equally an accomplice to what was happening in my life. When the hell was I going to take responsibility for the shit that I contributed to the journey that I'm in? And when I started unraveling and peeling off those layers, I realized life is actually really simple. And I do have one simple purpose in life, and that is to be open, to recognize what's happening to me, to be able to visualize and see that silver lining amidst everything that is happening, and then move forward. And writing this book just made it all so simple, because now I was partaking in this journey of mine called life, and not just saying, oh, someone did this to me and I am this person. Oh, that happened to me and I am that person. No, I am this person.
There's so many really important things in what you just said, and that'd be really helpful to other people, which is ownership. So you took ownership, right?
Yeah.
You weren't just reactive to things, you were very proactive.
Because I was done being reactive.
Exactly.
I was done being reactive. Oh, this happened to me, so now I am going to react this way. To not just that one person or that one incident. Now everything becomes a trigger for me.
Right.
Because now I've just generalized. Oh, men are bad. No, one man was bad. Now I can't color everyone with that one pigment of my imagination or my perspective. The minute I move, I realize my life is a kaleidoscope. And from every angle I see my life, I will find a new learning. So that ownership was really critical.
Yeah, it is. It's critical in your healing. It's also critical, I think, in moving forward. You also said something really important. These are all these little codes to success, right? These are like decoding it. These are some of the codes to it. It's, making a choice to take a step, right? And this is one of your steps. I would say it's an open book. It's also maybe an awakening of some sort for you as well. So you've written about all the things you just talked about. Grief. There's got to be a lot of grief. Body image, abuse, unfortunately, love, fame, and healing, all without a filter. And I would never expect a filter from you. This is one of the things I love the most.
And my name is Kubbra. It means the big.
Yeah, I know. Which, by the way, reading that, I was like, your mom is so on. And we've talked about my daughter's name and how I chose my daughter's name for a very similar reason, like your mom chose yours, because I wanted something that was strong, powerful. And my daughter's name comes from a tribe that negotiated their freedom from the Romans. So this is why I named her this.
What's her name?
Sabine. It's the Sabine people. They negotiated their freedom from the Romans.
How crazy is that?
The women did. That's the important
part. Tell me, how long did you take to research your daughter's name?
You know what? I've always loved it. And then all of a sudden we were like deciding the name, and I was like, I love this name. Let me put it there. And then I looked into why, and I was like, that's it. For me, that's it.
That's so amazing. I have newfound love and respect in this very second for one of my cousins who's no more with us, but her name is Sabina.
Really? Yeah, there you go. See, same. That's where that comes from. It's a beautiful name. I'm a little biased, but it's
name. And I didn't know the meaning.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. It's come from those people. The women actually negotiated the freedom, so which is fantastic. Very strong. Okay, so I think I know the answer to this one, but for everybody watching, because we're decoding so much success here. So this realization that you wanted to redefine who you were and not shrink any farther. How would you say, in like 1, 2, 3 words, how that has reshaped and defined who you are today?
There is a huge power behind the meaning of words and the language that we use. And the minute you start tweaking your language towards yourself and the actions that turn out as a result of the words that you use, there is a shift in the universe, but it starts really small. So the 2-3 words that I would use to describe this feeling would be starting small, looking inward, and taking action.
Fantastic.
If I'm not doing something about what I'm feeling and thinking, it's dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel I need to make the change, and I make the change, no matter how small that change is, it shifts everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time in school, I walked up on stage during the school assembly and spoke about volcanoes.
Right.
I remember the day before that, I was stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And traffic is a real thing in Bangalore. Like I'm talking about
it is
like
a real
35
thing.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going from home to school and I was stuck in traffic and I didn't make it in time for assembly. And I remember my principal looked at me and she was very disappointed. But I knew that I had prepared very hard for this. And I knew that all I needed was one chance.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I was late for this opportunity doesn't mean that I didn't deserve another chance and an opportunity. So I asked for that chance again.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, I was in school an hour earlier and I was standing on that stage and I saw the entire playground fill up with students.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what was happening. I saw people gather from nobody to say 1,000 students in front of me. And I remember the way the first few words rolled out of my mouth. And it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
It changed everything for me right there. Asking for what you want.
Yes, very big.
Being okay by not getting what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that you can create your reality in real time.
Yeah, very good.
Right now, it's the time to create your own reality. If it isn't happening, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
You can create that.
Yeah.
You can make it real.
Absolutely. So these are some great takeaways for everybody watching. These are some great takeaways.
So intelligent.
Yes. If you would like to make sure that you have some kind of shift. So if everybody's looking for a shift, this is one way to do it. Okay. So about the book, again, your willingness to share incredibly deeply personal chapters, especially of your life, especially the chapter about your abortion. It was incredibly courageous. And I'm going to preface this. It's incredibly courageous. Maybe judgment for outside courageous, but also for one own self from an internal perspective. I would have to say, like, as a woman to another woman, having that discussion that is so difficult even with self initially, and then having to have that on a public platform that takes a lot of courage. It's also very rare to see it because it's a huge amount of vulnerability. So I would love to know, if you're looking back on that chapter now, what did it teach you about maybe reclaiming your own narrative, or about grief, or maybe even about your courage that it took, your internal courage, and then the courage to take whatever came afterwards?
I realized that people believe the stories that you tell them, and you believe the stories that you tell yourself. So yeah, like making that decision actually about your own body may seem like the easiest thing because these are ongoing conversations, right? So are you pro-life? Are you pro-choice? These are very, very big, relevant questions that are popping up in our social media and our algorithms today.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was going through something that was so deeply personal, I didn't have the access to go to anyone else for their opinion. I just knew that this was hard, this was difficult, but I needed to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to make this choice and then work backwards on the choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a choice that I had to make. I had to cut off my hand and then figure out how I'm going to learn how to use the fork again with a prosthetic hand. Mm-hmm. I knew a prosthetic hand is possible. I know there's a possibility. I know I'm going to live even if I didn't have a hand. Mm-hmm. But I would have to teach my hand, my arm to do everything again. Mm-hmm. That's a difficult conversation to have with yourself. But it was also a conversation that I knew that I could not sit and dwell upon.
Mm.
It needed to have a way forward. I needed to do something to then figure out what I'm going to do next. And for the most part, when people read that chapter, they think that it's a chapter of great courage. But honestly, I don't think I had courage at that time. I was bullish. I was blindly doing everything that I could do for self-preservation. I needed to be alive. I needed to be alive at this point. And I had to make a decision that was breaking things down for me in terms of social conditioning, religious conditioning, to then saying everything that I know doesn't hold true for me right now. What holds true for me is whether or not I am going to bring this life, whether or not I am responsible to bring this life into the world. And the answer was a very, very quick no. I knew I was not ready. And that is all that I had to figure out at this point for me.
What were people's reactions to that when they
read the beauty was that I received so many stories back in return about people going through their own conundrums, their own difficulty in making decisions. And somehow, I felt relieved after my decision. They felt relieved after reading the book. And they felt relieved after taking their decision. Like there was just this sense of like we were just sharing stories, right? Because now we don't know how stories shape you, but they do.
Do you think that helped you heal? I'm sure it helped other people heal.
Like writing my book healed me in more ways than one. Like I became empty. I was not carrying this weight anymore. I was not
repacking it.
Let me take this up to the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this bag here. I just need to take my essentials to go up to the mountain. I don't need to carry everything on my shoulder. And I feel that's the power of stories. When you tell your stories and you have people to partake in your stories and you realize that, oh, there are more stories like this around me, neither do you start giving yourself so much importance कि भाई I am so special and मेरे साथ ही हुआ है. Nor do you go like, oh my God, I am the victim, मेरे साथ ही होता है. Nothing's happening only to you. Nothing's happening only. It's all happening for everyone because everyone's journey is different and what you take out of it and is up to you. So I think speaking about these incidents made me more human. The connectedness between the readers, strangers, fans became one and the same.
There's so much, that's one way I would describe this book, is there's so much humanity in it, right? It's like you're reading it and it's like this is the human condition from somebody's very private, very vulnerable, very courageous story. And I'm not just talking about this chapter. In general, when you're talking about, it's a very human story that we can all relate to, even if we don't have the same details. It is very much that, and you can connect to it. And one thing that you're talking about trauma in particular. These are very heavy traumatic things. But in general, when it comes to our daily lives, I think you can take this, if people are struggling with trauma or struggling with something that's blocking their success at living, but there's also your everyday choices that you make, because anything that happens to you, not necessarily traumatic, but anything, it could be you spilt your tea, or it could be that somebody, cheated you out of something or whatever it is. That feeling that you have actually only lasts very quick. It comes and goes, but it's what you decide to do. Do you decide to hold on to it? Do you decide to learn from it? Do you decide to grow from it? Or do you decide to just let it go? That's actually what is going to determine your success moving forward in your day, in your life, and everything, right? You're talking about your release of that to choose something different in a trauma situation.
Yeah.
But this is also very applicable to our everyday life situations. It's what you decide to do once it's happened. What are you going to do? Are you going to hold on to it?
Yeah.
Are you going to process it? Are you going to learn from it? What are you going to do with it? That is actually success. That's your decoding of success.
I have this really, like when you were telling me this, it took me back to a story that happened to my, like in my life. So there were a bunch of mistakes that I had made. Like I wanted to apply for my UK visa for the first time. I don't know why, instead of picking like the closest spot, I picked Colaba, which is the furthest spot, all right, to go apply for this visa. But now I'm very excited because I am going to apply for a visa. So I've got my documents, this is everything. I'm on my way wearing my favorite white shirt, and I have a bunch of white shirts, which I like to wear. So I wore this white shirt and I'm driving to this furthest spot in Mumbai to apply for my visa. I love coffee, but coffee, white shirt, and Kubbra are the worst enemies. We should not be put in a room, but we were in the room. We were driving. And as I was driving, there was a speed breaker. I dropped coffee on my shirt. Now I know I can't wear this shirt and go for this interview. So I said, no problem. I'll go back home. I'll change and I'll come back. So I immediately shifted my state, wore another white shirt, drove back. By the time I reached, it was lunch break. So now no visa appointment. I said, no problem. I will change my state again. I'm in South Bombay. I'll go eat a meal. So I called a friend. I ate a meal. I went back to the embassy and I realized I didn't carry my passport. On my way back, I have blasted Juma Chuma Deve at its highest volume, where I was the heroine, I was Amitabh Bachchan, and I was the entire crew of all the factory workers in the song, where I sang everybody's line and I said, I don't care. UK can wait, but I'm not going to be sad anymore. I tried 3 times. In all honesty, that one day, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 p.m., I tried everything possible to get this right. And it didn't work out for me. But I knew that the music will.
There you go, yeah.
And I was like, Juma, and it was a Friday. And I was like, this is it. This is what's going to take me home. Yeah. And I swear to God, it was the best day of my life. It's really up to us to change the narrative. And I did that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So this is a great example of everyday
But when I ended
thing.
up traveling to UK the first time, I traveled for a film shoot. I had to do nothing. Everything was arranged for me. I just had to go show up and give my biometrics, and I got my visa. And my first visa was for work. And I was like, wow, I couldn't have had this better. Like, this is amazing.
No. But see, that's exactly like an everyday situation, how you decide to, once it happens, the first, what do you do with it? Like, what are you going to do with it? Because what you did with it, for example, that's the shift and that's the success in it.
You can be Amitabh Bachchan in your head if you want to be.
Yeah.
I was.
Absolutely. Okay, now another really powerful thread that runs through your book is your relationship with your mother, who you and I have also talked about as well, not on this podcast, but before. It's layered like so many mother-daughter stories, which I think is probably an understatement, marked by tension, by love, by evolution, right? Which is wonderful that the relationship evolved, because that's really important. How has the relationship changed over time, especially as you've stepped into your own truth?
It's been relieving. It's been light. Given the journey that mom and I had together, it took me many years to understand where she was coming from. Because in your head, you've already decided the story, right? Your story is, I was your child. Your business was to take care of me. Your responsibility was to take care of me. And you did. Now I have thrown in an extra layer to it. But this is not how you should have raised me. You should have raised me this way. Why? Because now I have a influence of the rest of the world and the rest of the society to see, oh, this is how different my upbringing was. But then it took me some time to realize that no matter how different my upbringing was from the rest of the world in terms of language, I still turned out to be a beast. I'm awesome. And that could have happened only with the journey my mom and I shared.
Mm-hmm.
So from a particular point of obscurity, from space, we said, okay, this is common to us. And what was common to us is that we both didn't know what we were doing.
You're bringing up a huge point here, which I think is really important to talk about, is that sometimes we forget that, I mean, I'm a mother now, but sometimes we forget our own mothers. Like, this is their first time going through this.
I was her first baby.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they don't have a dress rehearsal for this one.
They don't.
And yet we're expecting them to know everything all the time and to not make any mistakes. And then we realize, yes, but I'm a human and I'm fallible. I will make mistakes and they will make mistakes. And they're doing the best thing that they possibly can. You know, you have to realize your mother didn't know what she was doing either. I mean, and frankly, we don't ever really have it figured out, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, but my mom made me a risk taker because she was a risk taker. She took risks.
Mm-hmm.
She never let me starve. She never let me be uneducated. She picked the best schools for me. She picked a psychiatrist for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've written in the book how she would go to this tailor and pick
Yes.
my outfits. Like she would pick catalogs and say, I want a bow from this. I want the button from this. I want a frill from this. I want the cut from this. And then and she was not a designer, but she did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted me to be the best kid that anyone had seen in this small little place called Varnarpet. Nobody knows where Varnarpet is. But I grew up there, and I remember people from that locality used to go to Balaji Tailor and say, how nice, yeah, you make those clothes. We come and ask you to make clothes, you don't. And Balaji Tailor, you say, do you know the kind of effort that mother puts in?
Right.
She sees one collar from here, one sleeve puff from here, one lace from there. She goes to the market, she brings me those things, and that's why I'm able to make this.
Mm-hmm.
Go, make the effort. I'll make it for you as well.
Yeah.
And it was so insane because there were so many moving parts to it. And my mom, I think, has functioned with me as her child with many moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
And she ensured that when they came in together, no matter how difficult those moving parts were to put together, when we saw them together, it was cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
It was one entire product. Like the simple things that she would say as my manager for me was the learning from her supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
So she would put things with like the expiry date, like which were closer to the expiry date, in front.
Mm-hmm.
So when people would see it, they would be like, oh, I don't want gulab jamun, but gulab jamun looks good on this shelf. Let's take it. She put us like that on shelves. See, maybe they don't know they want a good anchor like Kubbra Sait, but when they see you're a good anchor, they may want to try.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we started doing experiments like that, like we were brands and we were products. Mm-hmm. So everything that she gathered along the way made us successful, not just as people in our life, but as professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And soon there came a point when I wasn't seeing value in what she was doing. And I moved out. Only when I moved out is when I realized all the good things that she was doing for me. That distance helped us get closer. Because when there was a distance, I still needed a way to reach to her. The transformation, where it started showing, was when I realized I was not the only one who was building the bridge. She was building it from the other end.
Right.
So when we met, it didn't matter at which part of the bridge she was, but we knew we were on a bridge and we will meet. And when we met, it was the most profound experience. I'm having a very different relationship with my mom today because I realized that everything that she was trying to make me, at one point I was trying to make her.
Yeah,
and the minute the responsibility and the conscious decision arises where she wants to be amazing and I want to be amazing, we met. We were combustible. We were a force to reckon with.
Yes.
And I'm very grateful. My mom's an author as well. Oh. She wrote her book called Mannan. And that's about delving into your inner self. Okay. And she took the inspiration of 10 other women that she knows including her life. And she said, I have learned from these women. And this is what I learned from my own life.
It's wonderful to hear this because I know from the book and also from what you've said, your mother is a survivor. And most women that I know actually are survivors, and also the ones that have the stories. Those are the ones that are survivors, but you've both turned yourself not just from surviving into thriving now, which is amazing. If we can make that transition, that's your piece in life.
I hear this a lot, Elizabeth, because our conversations in my industry are not linear. It's not like if I show up to work every day, I don't even know if I can show up to work because I don't know if I will have work every day. So it's what I do between the jobs to keep my mind fresh, right? And it's the relationship with myself in between those lull periods that changes everything when I show up to work on the day I do show up. And it was insane to see how we were preparing for this day together. And it's been very, very fruitful.
It's wonderful that that's where you are now.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. The inner work is so important.
I saw her do it too.
Yeah.
It felt my work was validated. When you were asking me, has this book healed you? It was the first question my mom ever asked me after reading the book. Yeah, have you healed?
Yes.
And I was like, what? I never thought I would receive this question from my mom. Because in my head, my mom never asks me these questions. And the day she did, I was willing to receive that spirit of change in her. It transformed everything.
You not to put words in your mother's mouth, but you probably also healed her, because as a mother, to know that your child went through something, even if your intentions were incredibly good, even if there is nothing that you could possibly have done differently, because in the case what happened to you, it's possible that, like you said, you're not sure you would have gone back and done something differently if you were in the same situation again. But at least by her asking you, have you healed? It's like she can finally allow herself to heal from it as well. Because your mother also, knowing that you went through that, you never.
We're all
children.
Connected. Yeah. Our energy streams are all connected, especially generationally, right? Like my mom's connected to her mom. I can't break that.
No.
I'm connected to my mom. Oh, come on. I can't break that. No, I cannot. I cannot block that energy and be like, oh, I'm going to thrive. That's not going to happen. No. In our industry, this is what I was saying, and then I forgot about it. You meet a lot of people and you ask them, so how's it going? And they will say, surviving, bro, surviving. I want to give them one whack. You're not meant to survive, you're meant to live.
Yeah, of course. So
if you don't know how to swim and you're thrown into the deep end, I understand. Yeah. But if you're always in the deep end,
get yourself out of the deep end.
Just get yourself out of the deep end. Yeah. And I remember writing this, and so I didn't know how to swim till I was 30, right?
Yes, I read that also. Yeah.
I didn't know how to swim. Why? We didn't have access to swimming pools. We had one big public, municipality pool in Bangalore. I came from a Muslim family. Swimming costumes was something that was allowed. It was important for us to care about the color of our skin. So we couldn't get into chlorine water. There were a lot of boys and girls in the same pool. And my mom had the really, really silly thing that she would say, "Nahi beta, you should not go into the pool because people piss in the pool." I was probably pissing in the pool at that time because even I didn't know etiquettes of swimming, right? So I never learned how to swim as a child. And then I said, I'm done sitting, reading the book, How to Swim in 10 Days. No, I had to get into the pool. The first time I put my head under the water and I learned how to breathe bubbles, exhale bubbles out of my nose, underwater with my eyes open. That was such an empowering moment for me.
I can imagine, yeah.
When I realized I was underwater and I wasn't dying.
Then you're not dying. Yeah, absolutely. That's facing a lot of fear. It's facing a lot of fear.
When you do it and you survive it, then you start living every moment.
Exactly.
You only survive once, but you live every time after.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the same thing happens to me. I am met with fear every time I'm sitting in that boat and I need to do the Eskimo roll into the ocean to dive. I am scared every time. I am going against the ocean. I'm going against the mighty ocean. One current and I'm gone. I'm yesterday. So it's impossible not to fear it. And you still do it. And you still regulate your breath. And every time, I remember the first time I went diving, I finished my tank of oxygen in like 30 minutes because I was like, and now it's so happy to see me go 55 minutes under the water, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's so good because you get better with your fear. You get better with your experiences. Do you give yourself the chance to get better every time?
Yeah. Are you allowing yourself to
Are you
build
willing
that
to
confidence?
improve? Just that experience.
Yeah, very true.
The more you do the same thing over and over again, it's not the same thing. The experience is different. It gets easier. It gets better. It gets funner.
Yeah.
Yay!
'Cause you're also not the same person either.
You're
every
not.
time. You change as well. So continuing from your book, and then we're going to get into Kukoo, which I'm so excited about as well, because there's two things. One thing I would like to talk about, because when I was reading it, and this is not it, but we'll get into it in a moment. When I was reading it, I just couldn't believe it. But in the sense of there's a part of your book that's a very difficult chapter, which is I called him my uncle. And you bring to light, traumatic, I think, is a very light word in this case, experience that too many people keep hidden from other people. What gave you the courage to name it? And in doing so, what shifted for you?
I think it's the power of perspective. You know, when you know how to be kind to yourself and you know that what happened to you is a story that you've been telling yourself. So I just chose to tell the story differently. I just chose to tell the story from a way of knowing that I could not change what happened, but I can change the relationship with what happened. I didn't know better. My surroundings didn't know better. I could have tried, but I couldn't try because I needed something else at that time to keep me going. I think when you don't know something like this is happening to you because you didn't have language, abuse as a word did not exist in my dictionary. It wasn't in my vocabulary. I didn't know that this was happening to me. I was also latching onto that experience as a segue to my freedom. I felt like an adult. I wasn't. And it's very easy for me to say, but you knew better. Did you know better? Because I was human and I was going through this journey. I was also making some decisions. I grew up with that person. So at some point I could have pulled the plug, which I did, right? By running away, by escaping. But until that time, it was there to teach me something. It was there to help me evolve. And the beauty of the situation today is that I've never met that person again. Maybe that was my journey. Maybe he came into my life to teach me something. And now I've learned it. And I got nothing to owe anyone. Not even an interaction.
No, amazing.
And it's over. And you know what's amazing? I didn't have to do anything about it. He came into my life uninvited. He left my life unreturned. Like, he just left. He dropped off the map. I don't know where this human being is anymore. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what his life is. I don't know if it's good, if it's bad, if he's healthy, if he's sick. I don't know anything. And maybe that was our journey.
Yeah, and you have closure on it, it sounds like.
You need to be responsible for your own closure. You fail in an exam, no problem. Chapter closed, go write the exam again. But if you're going to stick around holding on to what happened then, And if you're going to wait for closure and give the power to other people to heal you,
That's true. Yeah,
then please wait.
Yeah, please wait.
Yes, you
Okay.
shall be immortal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because this is this thing. I truly believe, like, you choose your journey and you choose the lessons that you need to learn. If you choose not to learn it in this lifetime, which is a blessing, you will come back and you will go through the same.
You will learn it again.
You will go through it.
Yeah.
And I know it's interesting, right? Because Islam does not teach you that you have another life.
Right.
There are other schools that give you the introduction and the openness to see that you may come back. Now, no one has gone, no one has come back. We don't know. But the possibility that you want to live your best life today. And when life is over, according to Islam. That also allows you to make immediate changes today. And when you look at it from other schools and other philosophies that says you will come back with the same learnings or teachings that you have to draw from your existence and your life, don't worry, you'll get another chance to go through it again with another relationship, with another journey, with another story. Well, what is the universe trying to really do for you? God damn it, it's trying to make you the best version of yourself.
Yeah. So
are you willing to do that?
Exactly. Get out of the way and allow it by learning from it. Now we need to talk about Kukoo, right? Okay, amazing. So when Sacred Games premiered, it shook the landscape of the Indian content. And your performance, it was, powerful, I think is an understatement. It was transformative in so many different ways. So what was it like stepping into Kukoo's world and watching the world fall in love with a character that could have been so easily misunderstood?
A blessing. We are always trying to be other people that we're not, especially through the medium of cinema and the stories that we tell. And for me, I say this with such incredible humility, because having to play this character, right, in the beginning of your career, like for me, in my head, I had begun a long time ago. But to be able to embrace this role at a stage in my career, which is going to shift me, and I'm never going to be who I was yesterday, was something that I had never imagined or thought of. Because 5th of July, I was a different person. And 6th of July, when the show released, I was a different person. I was an entity.
Right.
And that was a big shift that happened to me.
Yes.
And it is crazy.
I think it was smart to go to the Maldives for that time. That's where you went,
buggered off.
Yeah. I could understand that totally. Because
I didn't know how to deal with something like this. And I'm so glad that I went away, because I was able to spend time with myself. I was kind of able to prepare myself to come back into something that is going to be so visceral in terms of media, eyeballs, questions, answers. How did it happen to you? You're so brave, you're so bold, you're so this, you're so that. No, I was human. I really was human. For me, Kukoo was not limited to the anatomy of who she is in her body. Or what stood out for me in that conversation was about how you could lose love in your life because you're not good enough. I could see how amazing and confident and incredible Kukoo was until she started questioning herself, because she heard someone else speak bad about her. And she knew people spoke ill about her entirely. But was some tiny voice that allowed her to entirely change the perspective of herself, where she all of a sudden realized that love is not everything. If I can't give you children, if I can't bear a family for you, then it's not love. And it's so incredible to see so many of us in our real life who are so strong, who are so brave, who are so incredible. And then a tiny whisper changes everything.
Yeah, this is what we call in emotional intelligence and in positive psychology something called a limiting belief, right? So limiting beliefs come from something we've told ourselves, society tells us, or somebody else has directly told us, but it's something we take as truth, right? And it shifts everything.
Yeah.
This is also where a lot of that imposter syndrome comes from as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very much connected to the limiting
Oh,
beliefs.
if it's not this, then it's not good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
or
then I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
And I think that's what this character taught me,
Mm-hmm.
which cannot be written, which cannot be necessarily described in words, but it's a very large feeling. And I've experienced that feeling. So now I'm going to live with this feeling to know that I am good enough.
Yes.
And I could play and channel a character who believed she was not good enough. But she was so brave. She was so powerful. And she was so human.
Yes.
And I will forever be indebted to this journey that brought me to this point, that transformed my sensibilities as an actor, that transformed my eagerness and the joy that I associated with acting. Like when I came into Mumbai, I didn't know I wanted to be an actor. But I do remember everyone back at home, because I lived in Dubai for 5 years and my professional life started there. So when I said I'm leaving Dubai, all my friends and all my peers in Dubai said, you're going to Bombay, you'll become an actor, is it? You'll be an actor. Go, become an actor. So I said, well, maybe you go to Bombay and become an actor.
Yeah.
So then I became an actor. Now I was like, okay, let's continue. This is really nice. In all honesty, I have only started loving what I do now. I feel a sense of empowerment every time I play a character, because I've started appreciating the grays. And there are so many hues of gray that I love. So that's what Kukoo did for me, and I will be indebted.
Your career spans genre from hosting tech summits, which actually I didn't know, to international thrillers. Do you have a favorite version of yourself on screen or a role that you like to revisit just for the joy of it?
No, Priyanka Chopra says this. She says, I don't read a book backwards. I go to the next chapter.
Amazing.
I think
very
it's
smart.
It's a very, very strong statement to make. No, I wouldn't like to take a character and replay it. Although, thank God, I don't get killed in a few shows, because most of my shows I get killed. Most of my films I get killed. So I don't have a chance to go back and replay them.
Right.
But there are a couple which have season 2s. So it's really nice to even develop what I missed out on. So say I played a character, like I played this incredible character in a series called Trial. And she's a firebrand, and she's very sharp, and she's very cutting edge, and she couldn't care too much. She doesn't have personal relationships. And we played it really well. But when I got the opportunity to extend it in season 2, I was able to find different layers to this character. So for me, acting becomes evolution of who that person is going to be this year in comparison to last year. Where does her journey take this character now vis-a-vis where it brought her in the last season? So growth is something that I associate with every of my characters. When I read a character for the first time, I want to now... So there was this interesting thing that I learned in an acting class that I recently went to. And the biggest pitfalls of an actor are when we try to see how similar the character is to you. Because then your performance starts to flatline, because there's only this much that you know about yourself. But the minute you start seeing how different the character is from you, like, the character may be speaking very fast and I speak very fast, but maybe my character speaks a little faster than I do. Maybe my character speaks a little slower than I do. But how is this character different from mine? Allows me to bring more shades.
Yes. There's more breadth to
There
it.
is more breadth. There is more, like, flavor.
Yeah.
There's more discovery. And I'm enjoying that phase of discovery through my profession right now.
Amazing. So now we're getting into redefining success.
Woohoo!
So to the outside world, your success looks glittering: Netflix hits, red carpets, magazine features, but you're very intentional about writing what success means to you, which I know we've had these conversations, what it actually means to you. If you could go back to the Kubbra that was just starting out, or maybe even the Kubbra with just one B, even then, what did success look like to her then? And how has that definition evolved with everything that you've lived through?
To know that so it's so interesting, right? Like, we're all going through different classes. Like, you don't reach and give your 10th standard exams when you've just joined like your first standard. So go through the phases, Kubbra, even if you're the Kubbra with a single B. Go through the classes. It may be boring, it may be repetitive, but we've discussed through the journey of this podcast that every experience that you do over and over again is never the same experience. I would tell my old self to go through this journey the way it's coming to you, but to experience every experience differently. And take something new out of the experience, and it will build you for the future that you cannot see.
That's success for you.
That is success for me.
Amazing. That's wonderfully said.
I'm so brilliant.
Yeah, yes. So what has success cost you? And what has it given to you that you never anticipated?
Success has cost me money, money, money.
Yes.
No, but success has cost me to consciously drop the conditioning that I knew.
Okay.
I have had to consciously shed the old layers, and I am happier, lighter, and freer for being able to do that.
Amazing. So I think that's both what you didn't anticipate and also what it took from you, right? Because these are good things that it took from you.
It's fantastic that it took away from me. Like, just to leave everything that didn't serve me anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
Most recently, I've been running into this this situation, right? Like, because my life has been across so many different verticals and so many different journeys in one journey, right? That I forget people. I do. And this has got nothing to do with them. It's just that we didn't stay in touch. We don't remember what happened. And it's okay.
It's okay.
Like, there is this thing called the Dunbar's rule that says that you can only remember 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Stop it. I meet 1,200 people a month. I'm not supposed to remember compound interest of people.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sure at that.
So I'm just kinder to myself today for having forgetfulness to serve me. Because what I remember is important for me to run my today. I don't have to remember everything from my past to function fully and to be fully present today. Let go of things that don't serve you so that you can have just enough. That toolkit that the handyman carries, he's not carrying the entire house. He's carrying a toolkit.
Absolutely.
Refine your toolkit and carry what you require.
What's resourceful to you?
What you don't need will leave you automatically. You will not need 10 screwdrivers. You will need one.
Yeah. Stop holding on to the things just in case, right? This
is in case.
This is a learning that I stopped. I don't do that anymore. So I actually came to this realization recently, is that I was such a just in case person because I'm like always prepared for everything. I mean, maybe a little bit too much.
I want to see what's in your bag. I would be so excited. I think you will have hand sanitizer you will have tissues and you will have...
And like a pharmacy pretty much.
And you will have wet towels. You understand what I mean?
Totally.
How much? And then we're carrying this bag.
Heavy. It's so heavy. At what point is it not resourceful anymore? The what ifs or the just in case, it's not resourceful anymore. So just let it go. Absolutely. Okay, so we hear so much about ambition, but rarely do we hear about alignment. So alignment is really huge, right?
That was my big theme.
Yeah.
in
When
life.
in your journey did you feel most aligned, when the external validation matched your internal peace?
I feel most aligned right now. In the sense that I know when I'm out of alignment.
Mhm.
So I know I need to get closer to it. This is a good day on the playing ground. And it takes permutations and combinations to get the right shot. And I think we're all just trying to get the right shot.
I think sometimes our alignment comes from exactly what you said, which is you know when you're out of it. You may not know what that alignment is, but you definitely know when you're out of it. And that is a gift because it gets you back to where you need to be.
Just know that you're out of it.
Yeah.
Embrace that moment.
Yeah.
It'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you've acknowledged it. If imagine, right, if someone had told me that you're not distracted, you're just someone who needs to pay attention to something else.
And here's how to do it.
And here's how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I know I'm out of alignment, I know how to bring myself back into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Take that breath, have that sip of water.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to take my tasbih and just say Allah Akbar or say Subhanallah or say Alhamdulillah. It automatically grounds me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then I'll figure out what I did, what I should do. I'll figure the rest out.
Yeah.
But at least I know that I'm not in alignment with myself. No?
You're allowing
More
yourself,
than enough.
You're allowing yourself to be the most intelligent version of yourself because you're giving yourself that peace and space, which is incredible because you acknowledge that you're not there and you
I'm not
want to
there.
be. And you want to be. Okay, back now we're going to jump into emotional intelligence. This is where we were just. And no, we've been there the whole time, but now we're going to really jump into it. So your life is a masterclass in emotional intelligence. And this book definitely is through the way you reflect, respond, and continue to evolve, which is the biggest takeaway I think I took from this, besides some of the other learnings about you. And also that it totally reaffirms the first thing I thought about you, which is the open book, 1000%. How has your relationship with your emotions changed over the years? And were there moments where emotional intelligence was your only strength to stand on?
I felt it was easier for me to say things from a standpoint of how I feel. I feel restricted. I feel stifled. I feel stuck. Now, for most people, these are very difficult things to say. Because you have to be above it all the goddamn time. You can't.
Yeah.
I think my greatest superpower is to be able to say, I don't know. Please try it. Whoever's listening,
Yeah.
please try it. Try saying you don't know.
Yeah.
It opens up the possibilities of knowing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you're going to just trouble yourself by not extinguishing the possibility of what you don't know, because even you don't know that you don't know, because you've not brought yourself to say it.
Yeah.
So please, for God's sake, say you don't know. It's a superpower.
Absolutely. And naming your emotions is a superpower also.
Yeah. You know what's really helped me? And we were talking about this, the wheel of emotions.
Yes.
I think everyone should take a printout of the wheel of emotions and put it as their goddamn screensaver.
Very helpful. Actually, it's a great tip. This is what you should do. You should do that.
Please take a wheel of emotions, size it to your wallpaper on your phone,
Yes.
and stop trivializing your emotions or even broadly labeling your emotions.
Yeah. Name them.
Name them.
Yeah.
I'm confused is what leads to I'm angry. I'm guilty is what leads to I'm angry.
Absolutely. I'm
But
resentful.
we are just walking around going, I'm angry.
Yeah.
But why are you angry?
Yeah. What's going on beneath
What's
that?
going on?
Anger is a blanket emotion. So
Anger too big.
Yeah.
You're not in the rain the whole time. Sometimes you just need sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, excellent.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you standing?
Why
under-
are you walking with umbrella everywhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Just wear sunglasses.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you need, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Naming your emotions is the first step.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a
This
great
is
idea.
Very big tool.
This is a
It
huge
helps.
takeaway from this podcast. We're going to start putting that on our screensavers and just learning how to name your emotions.
And it's such a colorful looking Wheel.
For everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a wheel that has these kind of umbrella emotions, and then those emotions defined in more depth, so with more description. So you actually have other words to call it so you can understand it better. So it's not everything that you're angry or I'm sad or I'm happy or whatever. It's much more in depth. I'm resentful, I'm joyous, I'm enlightened, I'm in whatever it is. You actually can name the emotion more effectively. You take ownership of it and therefore can change it if you want to change it or want to stay in it and absorb it or whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah, absorb it maybe.
Absorb it.
Maybe that's what you need at that time.
Yeah, whatever it is at that time, but first you need to name it, right? It has
And in language that you understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like English may not be my first language.
No.
But what's the language in which I understand?
Yeah. 100%. And also your word.
Like resentful. Like there was this incredible thing. Okay, for example, resentful, right?
Yes.
I don't understand the meaning of resentful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find the closest word
Mm-hmm.
that I get.
Yes.
But the minute that word touches me, change has happened.
You'll know.
You will know.
This is because in neurolinguistic programming, there are worlds behind words, right? So one word means something to you. It means something very different to me. My association and my alignment with it and my attachment to it will be very different than for yours. And therefore its power is very different and its impact is very different. And that's why it's important that you name them correctly for yourself, whatever those emotions are.
I like that.
Yeah,
I really, really, really like that. And I urge people to do that.
Yeah, please look at that wheel. Okay, is there a daily ritual or grounding practice that helps you reconnect yourself with when the noise gets really loud?
So there are two things that I like to do. One is to meditate. Like for example, today I haven't meditated.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point I'll go and I'll meditate. And now most people think meditation is very difficult. So they've started it is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So then they will never get past. But the idea of meditation is not to just close your eyes and keep your mouth shut. Mm-hmm. The idea of meditation for me is to be able to focus on something that is different from my thoughts. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm just thinking about this thought and this thought and this thought. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I say, I'm now going to give myself something to do, like I'm going to breathe 30 times. Mm-hmm. Finish your 30 breaths. Can you imagine how hard it is for people to sit down and take 30 breaths?
Yes.
Forget 30 breaths. Do you know how hard it is for people to take 5 full breaths? Mm-hmm. Because I used to experience panic attacks, and I'm sure I've experienced them much before I realized that we had words associated to what was happening to me, and it was called a panic attack. But when I found a word, when I found different ways to address my panic attack, it changed my relationship with the panic attack. I used to be someone who used to have Allegra or an antihistamine medicine the whole time. My mom was cleaning my cupboard and she found an expired Allegra strip from 2019 in my bag, in my wallet, like from my old wallet. And we saw it and I said, oh my God, I haven't used one since 2019. And I realized that my hives would pop up not only when I was sad, but also when I was extremely excited, because your body cannot tell the difference, my friend. It just cannot tell the difference. I would have hives on my back just before I went up on stage, which is something I love to do. But my body would also break into hives when my cat was sick, when I saw my parents fighting, when I wasn't being heard. And then I realized that this is what I got to do for a stress response. So today, before I go on stage, I hold hands with everyone and I say, let this be the best show of our life. Let's do our best. And I haven't required an antihistamine medicine since.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's great. Those are wonderful tips to give everyone.
Ways than one. Like, I became empty. I was not carrying this weight anymore. I was not...
repacking it.
Let me take this up to the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this bag here. I just need to take my essentials to go up to the mountain. I don't need to carry everything on my shoulder. And I feel that's the power of stories. When you tell your stories and you have people to partake in your stories and you realize that, oh, there are more stories like this around me, neither do you start giving yourself so much importance कि भाई I am so special and मेरे साथ ही हुआ है. Nor do you go like, oh my God, I am the victim, mere saath hi hota hai. Nothing's happening only to you. Nothing's happening only. It's all happening for everyone because everyone's journey is different and what you take out of it is up to you. So I think speaking about these incidents made me more human. The connectedness between the readers, strangers, fans became one and the same.
There's so much. That's one way I would describe this book. Is there's so much humanity in it, right? It's like you're reading it. And it's like this is the human condition from somebody's very private, very vulnerable, very courageous story. And I'm not just talking about this chapter. In general, when you're talking about, it's a very human story that we can all relate to, even if we don't have the same details. It is very much that, and you can connect to it. And one thing that you're talking about trauma in particular. These are very heavy traumatic things. But in general, when it comes to our daily lives, I think you can take this, if people are struggling with trauma or struggling with something that's blocking their success at living, but there's also your everyday choices that you make, because anything that happens to you, not necessarily traumatic, but anything, it could be you spilt your tea, or it could be that somebody, cheated you out of something or whatever it is. A line from Open Book that still punches you in the gut.
Can we open a page and just find
I have so many I took photos of.
I have some of those as well.
Yeah.
So let's just open one. I'm sure we'll
happens.
find one.
Okay.
So like playing book cricket. Oh, I was born to play Farah. Yeah, I love this one. At take 20, he gently asked me, do you want to take a break? This was Saif Ali Khan. I nodded and walked away with tears in my eyes. I returned shortly to finish this scene in the 28th take. Once I was done, I felt a stab of sadness. No one said anything to me, but I could sense the tension on set. It felt like it was all my fault. I was troubled with self-doubt, and teary-eyed, I apologized to the entire crew. So then I walked to Jayu, who was the producer of this film, and I said, I'm sorry. And Jayu said, why? I said, I'm sorry for all the inconvenience. And he replied with a smile, Virat bhi kabhi kabhi duck pe out hota hai. Which is Virat also goes out on a duck, now and then. Yeah. And that was such a great moment to realize that the greats fail.
Mm-hmm. We all fail.
We all fail.
Thank God, because we only learn this way.
And it was such a big learning for me.
Okay, one elegant virtue. What's the first thing you would do?
Oh, I think for me, it's my smile. Yeah. So you go smile. I'll go smile at everyone. I do that. Yeah. It's amazing. Please smile at every stranger in your elevator. Yeah. Don't be inside your phone. Your phone's not working. When anybody walks in, they say, hi. Like I walked in this afternoon, such a huge elevator you have. Wow. You don't get to see this elevator. It's a proper service elevator you have. Wow. When was the last time you marvel at the simplest things in life?
Absolutely. I say smile at everyone, acknowledge everyone. Yeah. Because you don't know what that's going to do for somebody.
So, third floor, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please. A one-line mantra that you live by.
Everything's okay. And if it's not okay, it will be okay.
Absolutely. What's not part of your definition of success, even if the world says it should be?
This thing that bad things happen to good people. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's something that I agree with. I think things happen to everyone to learn. Mm-hmm. And then how you choose makes the experience good or bad. Absolutely. If you want to polarize it.
Finish the sentence. People think I'm blank, but actually I'm blank.
People think I am bold, but I'm just figuring it out.
I think I'm just Kubbra. Like, I don't know, with two B's.
What the hell is bold?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is bold? I don't understand. I used to hate it when people used to call me bubbly.
No, I don't think that's right.
What is bubbly?
I don't know. I just think you're unfiltered. Like there's just no filter. That's it. I mean, you're just Kubbra.
I like this. Maybe I'll use unfiltered.
Yeah, unfiltered, which is good. This is the authentic part. This is the open book
I am
bit.
honest.
Yeah.
I am truthful. Mm-hmm. I will tell you if I removed you out of my guest list.
Fantastic.
I'm that guy.
You're that person. What's louder, your inner critic or your intuition?
My intuition.
Amazing. Stick with that because that's a wonderful
my,
thing.
my intuition.
Yeah.
I find this common across actors. They can't see their work. They feel like it's hard for them to hear themselves or hard for them to see themselves. But I go through it enthusiastically more than once because then I'm able to understand my own work and what I need to improve. Because I don't have anyone else to give me a different perspective. But I could bring different perspectives to what I'm doing, to honor and humble my own craft and say, oh, I don't know everything. But from this journey, after viewing what I have done, I can learn and do something better when the next opportunity arrives. Right. This is something that I imbibe in. And in fact, there was one director who taught me this. There's a brilliant director called Rajat Kapoor. I worked with him in a film. And I remember I've worked with many different directors, but this guy would call me to the monitor and say, see what you've done. Just look at yourself and then figure out what you want to do differently.
Amazing.
Because when you see, you know how to be different. What should be the next action? So if you are going to constantly be in a place where you can look at yourself from the outside and not put so much pressure on yourself to be right, to be wrong, to be descriptive, non-descriptive, look at the situation from the outside, change starts to happen.
Big change, and also learning how to trust yourself that way as well by seeing it. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. I can't do that, but thank you so much for being here today. It is, as I knew it was going to be, absolutely amazing. I love the energy. I love everything you've shared, and you've given our viewers some amazing tips. I know that you've changed lives out there, so thank you so much. You've definitely impacted mine. The book has as well. So thank you so much, and please come back for another episode. Maybe in one of our future ones, we'll talk about something slightly different. Thank you so much. Kubbra, thank you so much for sharing your story with such honesty and grace. In a world that often demands loudness and spectacle, you've shown us that the power of subtlety, how true elegance isn't about perfection or applause, but about being deeply rooted in who you are. You've reminded us that vulnerability can be a strength, and that embracing every part of ourselves, the joys, the struggles, the shadows, is what makes us whole and truly human. Your journey from the unforgettable Kukoo to the pages of Open Book is a testament to resilience, authenticity, and courage. It's clear that the elegant virtues we talked about, integrity, grace, and strength, aren't just abstract ideas, but living principles that guide you every day. And that's a lesson for all of us, no matter where we are on our own paths. So here's to embracing our own stories with their complexity and beauty, to being open books, rewriting chapters when we need to, and never losing sight of the virtues that anchor us through it all. Kubbra, your journey is inspiring, your voice is necessary, and I can't wait to see what you create next. Thank you for being a part of Success Decoded.